Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today's new video this morning on this early Saturday morning is my NFL top 5 quarterbacks going into 2021 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. So I was going to do this video last night on Friday. It's been a long week. I've been streaming pretty much consistently every single day now since I've moved into the new place. Wanted to take a little bit of a break, just, get some me time, get some sleep, do some more reading and research. So I figured, I'll hop on early this morning and we'll end up doing a live stream. I know some people will be sleeping, some people will be at work, but this isn't necessarily the best 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. I can kind of give you a list of where my head is in my favorite top 10, but I want to kind of give you my NFL top 5 QBs going into 2021 and what I think they're going to do. And I know that these 5 guys, more than likely, all of them will get into the playoff race. And I'm going to leave some of the other guys out that I easily could put on this list, and I'll go over it and explain. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Hop in the chat and let me know that you're in the building as well. My NFL top 5 QBs that are going into 2021 to dominate with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash the fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. NWSF chain gang in the building. So the Buccaneers and the Chargers from 2020, when they were wearing the powder blues, was on just a few minutes ago. And obviously we got the Saints and the Vikings now on NFL Network. Michael, what to do? How are you? But I wanted to go over this list because I easily could have made this list, with the major top guys. And I'm going to kind of break down, the dudes, the main ones that are the real deal Holyfield. Now, on my top 5 list, obviously Deshaun Watson, if he's playing this season, he normally is sitting around 4, 5, or 6 overall in the NFL. I didn't include him in my list because I don't think the Texans are going to the playoffs. He's going to have a lot of garbage stats. Is he a top 5 quarterback in this league? Of course he is. All right, of course he is. But with the uncertainty of really if he's playing this season or not, I left him off my list, but he is a top 5, top 6 quarterback. Dangerous. Russell Wilson is considered a number 2, number 3 quarterback right there with Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. I do not have him on my list either. I'm not sure if they're going to end up making the playoffs, this season, but I wanted to kind of showcase some other guys and kind of give you where my head is at. I don't know if Seattle is going to make the playoffs this season. Chris Guzman. Yo, what's up? We face y'all boys this year. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for your team, the Washington football team. It wouldn't surprise me if they end up winning the division. They got the best defense in the NFC East. Some people want to see a NFC least, but you got Ryan Fitzmagic, you got Antonio Gibson, you got Scary Terry McLaurin, you got his buddy Curtis Samuel from The Ohio State University, Chase Young, one of the best defensive lines in the country. So it really is going to be interesting to see where they go and what they do, and they should be better than what they were last season, you would think, with Ryan Fitzmagic, if he can at least keep things moving, keep the boat afloat, keep steady. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Message from a Golden Eagle. What up, Orion and NWSF? Thoughts on Hurt season? I'm super excited, but I wouldn't expect to make the playoffs this year, and that's me not being a hater. I love all 32 teams, but I feel that they're gonna underachieve. Washington's got the best defense. Cowboys got the best offense in the NFC East. The Giants are kind of in the middle. We don't really know what they're going to do on offense and defense, but they have improved with their weapons on offense and defense, right? But we don't know about Danny Dimes. We don't really know. I like Joe Judge. I like Saquon, Kadarius Toney, the rookie from Florida, all the defensive pickups. But we don't really know what kind of Giants team we're going to get. And with Philly, sad to say, they might be in rebuilding mode and they might be 3rd or 4th in the division. It's possible. I mean, you just got to see if Dak can stay healthy the whole year, what Ryan Fitzmagic does. There's definitely question marks on every team. Ryan Fitzmagic, question mark. Dallas Cowboys, Question mark, right? Giants, Danny Dimes, question mark. And then with the Eagles, I don't have any problems with, Hurt season, Jalen Hurts, or Devonta Smith, Miles Sanders, it's more on the defensive side with Fletcher Cox, and if you're going to have consistency there as well as the offensive line. But we're going to have to kind of wait and see. Giants is number one for me because they are a good defense and great offense. Well, we don't know about great offense just yet, Chris Guzman. We're thinking the Giants offense, could be good with all those weapons. But, it's all about Danny Dimes and consistency. Same thing goes for the Eagles. If you don't get consistency out of Jalen Hurts or Danny Dimes, they're going to move on to another quarterback next season. And there's Spencer Rattler, Clovis, Howell. Those are just three guys that are going to be looked at. Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma, you got Clovis, USC, and then you got, Howell from North Carolina. So there'll be other guys, and they got 3 future first-round picks for the Eagles. So if they decide not to go with them, right? If they decide not to go with them, then they can go a different route. But I'm hoping they do, and they just surround talent around Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith and Miles Sanders. And with the Giants, they may need someone better than Danny Dimes. They got everything there. It's all, the O-line is pretty good, right? They got some monsters up there up front, that are nasty, like Hernandez, right? You end up getting Saquon healthy. That makes everything better. You got some more weapons out there for the Giants as well. Defense has been improved. So, like I said, that was one of the teams that I thought that would be on the bubble for a playoff spot last year, the Giants, but they just got banged up with Saquon. But this year, as we know in the NFC East, teams typically don't repeat in that division. It's very rare. Usually another team, jumps the gun, So if it might be the Giants this year, Washington, you won it last year, but obviously Dallas is going to be coming in strong, but we don't know if Dak can stay healthy. So we're going to have to kind of wait and see. So watch out for it. Dimey Brown as a sleeper. Absolutely. Giants number one. I feel you, man. And you're a Washington football team fan, so that says a lot. You know what I mean? So I could agree with you as well, bro. Hoping Wentz plays 75% of the snaps and the Finns choke, which is unlikely for them first round picks. You're going to get it. Wentz will play 70% or more of the snaps. Dylan, W26, now just Dylan. Steelers in the building. Yo, what to do? Early stream for me. I never usually stream on Saturdays. Usually I'm like partying, drinking or, doing some things. You know what I mean? But I decided to take it easy, relax my body, relax my mind, went to sleep early yesterday. And then Mason Rudolph, number one. Stop trolling already this early, my guy. But I decided just to kind of take care of me and then do some more reading and film study, and I was going to do this list. But let's not get it twisted. These are not the best 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that I'm going to be going over. All right, so let's not get it twisted. These are not the best. Some of them are the best 5, but a lot of these guys you could put in the top 10, but I think that these are going to be the top 5 QBs, stat-wise, impact-wise, and I think that they're really going to take the leap, from last year to this year. But again, Deshaun Watson I don't have on the list because he is a top 5 quarterback, but there's uncertainty if he plays this season or not. Danger Russ gets credit, game in and game out. Same thing as Aaron Rodgers. They are both top 5, top 3 quarterbacks, Danger Russ, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. I don't have them on the list, just because Rodgers could be on Green Bay. He could be on Denver. He always gets the love. Danger Russ always gets the love, right? But I want to, kind of showcase a couple other guys. Kyler Murray, another guy that I think that's going to take the next step in his game. When you're going into year 3, year 4, you really need to take your game to the next level. I got the Cardinals making the playoffs this season, so that might mean that you get the Niners in, you get the Cardinals in, and maybe the Rams winning the division. Lamar Action Jackson, I was just going to go over that. Gooseman, I think Jackson will have a great season. They gave him wide receivers. They got Bateman. They got Mark Andrews, right? I'm not really sold on Hollywood Brown. Still, you got J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. I think you still need a true number 1 running back. I think J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards are more like third down backs. When they had Mark Ingram as the lead back, they're going to need someone like that, but younger, maybe like a Mark Ingram that they had on the Saints. You need 3-headed horses for that particular squad. So I'm looking for them to get a running back down the road. But Kyler and Lamar are, in my opinion, are both top 10 quarterbacks on the cusp of being top 5. In some people's opinions, you might think Kyler or Lamar are top 5 quarterbacks, or definitely in the top 10, but I don't got them on the list. And Ryan Tannehill, normally you're going to put him right there between number 10 and number 15, somewhere in that general range. I think he's a top 10 quarterback, before the Julio Jones trade. I don't have him on the list, even though I wanted to, because I know Julio and A.J. Brown, they're going to dominate. No more more Jonnu Smith or no more Corey Davis. Obviously, we know Jonnu Smith, Patriots, Corey Davis, Jets. So I know Tannehill's going to ball out. His stats are going to be great. But one thing I have in common, Watson, no playoffs. Russell, borderline playoffs. I'm not sure if Seattle will get in with a wild card or not this year. They may take a step backwards. Kyler, I got playoffs. Lamar, playoffs. And Ryan Tannehill, definitely playoffs, regardless if Julio gets banged up halfway through the season or not. But I wanted to showcase a couple other guys, some that are top 5 and others that need to get the recognition that they typically don't. My NFL top 5, not necessarily the best 5, all right, that are in the NFL today, because we know Watson, Russ, and Rodgers are typically number 5 for Watson, Russ maybe number 2 or number 3, Rodgers 2 or 3, and we know Patty Mahomes, Showtime, we know what he normally is number 1, Kyler somewhere normally in that 5 to 9 range, Lamar 5 to 9 range, Tannehill in most people's eyes is not a top 10. They think that he's somewhere between maybe 12 and 20. Incorrect. This guy is a baller, and he's my favorite non-superstar quarterback in the NFL, Ryan Tannehill. And I could have put him on this list, but I just have to definitely shout him out. But those are kind of like my main 10, 11 guys in the NFL. And of course, there's going to be others that I'm missing out on, but these are the ones that really showcase the skill set. So let's start it off, all right, with my top 5. Number 5, you see the motherfucking thumbnail, my boy from Oregon, Justin Herbert, J. Herb. All right, he won Offensive Rookie of the Year, which he could have shared the award with Justin Jefferson, another guy that I think that's going to be a top 5 wide receiver sooner than later. Yes, you have guys like DeAndre Hopkins, right? You got guys that are a little bit older that are going to get replaced, Julio Jones as well. Normally, we have Julio and DeAndre Hopkins in the top 5, but as Justin Jefferson is starting to showcase his skill set, like Justin Herbert, look for both of them to get into the top 5 this season. And if they don't get in the top 5 by most NFL fans out there or pundits or experts, they're just going to be on the outside looking in, number 7, number 6. But I truly think that Justin Herbert and Justin Jefferson at the quarterback and wide receiver positions, respectively, are going to be both top 5 in their positions. I love them that much. So you won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Justin Jefferson got the rookie record for yards, 1,400, even though CeeDee Lamb probably could have got that if he would have had Dak healthy throughout the full season, another wide receiver that I love. But Justin Herbert, 4,336 yards, 31 TDs, and only 10 picks with not a good offensive line, not a lot of weapons. Eckler, Keenan Allen, sometimes these guys get banged up, and those are the number 1 options, and I love those players as well. Very underrated Keenan Allen, very underrated, Austin Eckler. Derwin James was out for, the whole season. They've had some changes with Casey Hayward and some of the, matchups at, corner and linebacker. So, with the Chargers, I have them going to the playoffs this season. I just got to pray that they, and like the Dolphins, they can take that next leap. I'm not sold on Tua, right? I like Burrow more than Tua as well, and I think Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to ball out and make a lot of highlight reels. But with Tua, all he needs to do is not turn the football over, and get the confidence of the teammates. Otherwise, they're going to move on to another QB. But with Justin Herbert, I bet Miami's thinking, fuck, we picked the wrong guy. Because imagine if the Dolphins had Justin Herbert today. You could say that they have a good chance to compete for the AFC East, right, title with the Bills and the Pats. I truly think that. But Justin Herbert, 31 TDs, 10 picks. What really impressed me is that they had the Bucs game on earlier. If you remember when they played the Saints, even though they lost a lot of games this season, right, this past season, a lot of them weren't his fault. It was the defense being shitty, the offensive line not blocking, and I don't think I've seen anyone throw under pressure better in his rookie season than maybe Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. There was a lot of deep footballs, post routes, go routes, in routes, out routes, pretty much slant routes, anything that you could think of route-wise that you saw Justin Herbert throw, and a lot of those throws were deep and right on the money, just dimes, all right? And you don't see that from a rookie that often, especially when they were saying that Joe Burrow was so much better. Tua Tagovailoa was so much better. He's an Oregon quarterback. He's going to flop just like Joey Harrington and Dennis Dixon and, Kellen Clemens and all the other quarterbacks, Marcus Mariota. He can't do it. He's going to be the best Oregon quarterback of all time, even more than Dan Fouts. I'm telling you, this guy has potential to be a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He's going to put them on the map, and I think he's going to give you better numbers overall when it's all said and done than Phillip Rivers, and that's saying a lot. I think that they found their guy. He's got a good arm. He's not going to get in trouble, right? He works really hard, in the offseason with the coaches and the players. He didn't take snaps under center All right. He didn't take snaps under center. He was a shotgun kind of guy, that Oregon offense, that spread offense. So he's kind of quiet as a leader, but you can see with his play, he's becoming more vocal. He's a great leader. He's got a great arm. And I'll tell you what, if I could choose any quarterback for Tampa Bay that's not Tom Brady or Ryan Tannehill when, those guys were available, if I could have any new young quarterback to join the team, obviously Mahomes wouldn't be available, or, Russell or Rodgers or those guys, right? I would take Justin Herbert right there with Deshaun Watson or Kyler or Lamar, as far as that new breed of talent, Josh Allen. I mean, Herbert would be right there to me with probably Josh Allen, where I would be like, man, these guys are the real deal, Holyfield. And it took Josh Allen a few years and Stephon Diggs to get there, but Justin Herbert, with limited talent on the offensive line and defense and shitty-ass coaching, still got 31 TDs and 10 picks. This guy can definitely be in the 40 TD range. It's not that crazy to think. 4,336 yards in his rookie season. He can throw for 5,000 yards. No doubt. I love Justin Herbert. Look for him. I think he's a top 10 quarterback right now. You could put him in there with Lamar, Kyler, Rodgers, Russ, Watson, Tannehill, Mahomes, Brady, Allen, Stafford, all these guys. You can put him in there right now today. And I honestly feel that if they make the playoffs this season, he could be a top 5 quarterback. I would put him over Lamar or Kyler or those guys that are on the bubble. I really think that he's that fucking good. Just look at the tape, look at, game in, game out, his progressions and how much better he got game in and game out after Tyrod Taylor got punctured right in the lung by one of his fucking coaches. Justin Herbert, if you're not on notice yet, the Chargers are going to win more and more games. They're not going to be able to be as good as, obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs, but they can be definitely better than Denver and the Raiders. Justin Herbert is a top 10 quarterback today, and by the end of the season, if they make the playoffs, or if they don't, and they barely miss it, I still think that he'll be considered one of the guys that should be in the running for top 5 with Watson, Kyler, and Lamar, who are all kind of just jumbling around for top 5 status. That's big facts. Number 5, my favorite new young quarterback from the University of Oregon, Eugene, just around my backyard, Justin Herbert. Used to watch him front row in Eugene behind the duck bench, would holler at him and all the players. If anyone knows Justin Herbert, it's me. I've had the front row seats. I go to the games. I've seen Mariota front row. I've seen Herbert front row. I've seen Joey Harrington. I've seen the whole progressions. This guy could end up being the best player that Oregon has had in a long, long time, and definitely the best Oregon quarterback of all time. No disrespect to Marcus Mariota or Dan Fouts, all right? And he played on the Chargers too when they were in San Diego, but I love him. Number 5, Justin Herbert. And again, this list isn't the best 5 quarterbacks. It's the 5 that I think that are going to do the best going into 2021. Let me clarify. Watson, Dangerous, Aaron Rodgers, Kyler, Lamar, and Tannehill all are deserving to be on the top 5. But I wanted to showcase these top 5 because I think that these are going to be the ones that are dominating on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays. And I got all 5 of these teams going to the playoffs because of these quarterbacks. Number 5, Justin Herbert. Los Angeles Chargers. Go back to San Diego. That's where you belong. Number 4. Number 4 is a quarterback that gets slept on day in and day out. He normally is considered a bottom top 10 quarterback, if not, top 12. He's a number 1 pick from Georgia, played on a shitty team in Detroit. Now he gets a chance to go to a contender, and he gets to go with Sean McVay. Number 4, Matthew motherfucking Stafford. All right. I love Matthew Stafford. 4,084 yards, 26 TDs, and 10 picks. Look for that number to jump up into the mid-30s, maybe 40s, and he's going to be under 15 picks. It wouldn't surprise me. 35 to 40 touchdowns coming in with Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. And you got Sean McVay. That's the most important. You got Sean McVay. I got the Rams hopefully playing the Bucs in the NFC Championship game. I could see the Rams, even though that they've had, Troy Hill and John Johnson, they've had a lot of Michael Brockers. They've lost some pieces as well as their D coordinator, all right? As well as their D coordinator, Jurassic Ninja. What did do? He said, just joined. And I was going to say, where's Stafford? See, your boy knows. See, I don't have to put him, in the top 5, right? But like I said, this isn't necessarily about top 5 quarterbacks, right? This is my top 5 that's going to have success going into 2021, the best success. So Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Ryan Tannehill, all those guys besides Watson and possibly Russ probably aren't going to make the playoffs. But Herbert, number 5. Number 4, Matthew Stafford. And I'm super excited for Rams fans in the Ramily because you have a chance now to do what Tampa did last year and try to play Super Bowl, in that general area in your hometown state in California, there in LA, in Los Angeles. Stafford is the man. He never has gotten credit where credit's due. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Matt Ryan, where we know Matt Ryan is good. And normally Matt Ryan's a top 10 quarterback or top 12. Stafford normally is a top 10, top 12 quarterback. But, Matt Ryan got to the Super Bowl. They couldn't get it done, but he had Kyle Shanahan, and they didn't step on the throat to be able to kind of close it off, right? They didn't get a chance to do that, right? You needed the gas on the pedal. And they just got, tired, and then you got dinking and doinking from Tom Brady and obviously Josh McDaniels and the 28-3, and the rest is history. But number 4, Matthew Stafford, look for him to put up big numbers, maybe some of the biggest numbers that he's put up in his whole career. If they make the NFC Championship game and beat the Bucs, or they go to the Super Bowl, don't be surprised. This is the biggest threat to Tampa Bay. Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Do I need to go on? But there is concerns. Troy Hill's gone. All right, Michael Brocker's gone. John Johnson III gone. So you lost your D coordinator as well. So there's definitely going to be issues there, with some of the pieces that left. But we'll see how good the defense is from being number 1 to hopefully still being in the top 5 or top 10. But Matthew Stafford is going to lead the team to the playoffs. I would assume that they're going to win the NFC West. Yeah, the Niners should get in because they got an easy schedule, right? The Cardinals, I feel, with Kyler can take the next step. And even Seattle should be in the running with Dangerous, DK Metcalf, and Tyler get to the door and lock it. Number 4, Matthew Stafford, 4,084 yards, 26 TDs, 10 picks. Look for those touchdowns to skyrocket with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. And those are 2 of the most underrated wide receivers with Tyler get to the door and lock it overall. I mean, if you're looking at guys that don't get pubbed, Tyler Lockett, that's one. Robert Woods, another. And Cooper Kupp. But if they make this nice playoff run, everyone will know Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods because Matthew Stafford is there. And I feel good for you Ramily fans. You guys deserve it. You've gone through some ups and some downs. Now you're post Jared Goff and the Goffense. He's going to be running that in Detroit. You made a huge upgrade. Matthew Stafford at number 4. Now, overall, I think Matthew Stafford would be in consideration of being a top 12 quarterback, somewhere between 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But you don't know how great his stat line is going to be as we're going into 2021. I think it's going to be monstrous. And look for them to be able to try to get to that NFC Championship game, Super Bowl, and then maybe we'll get a Rams-Bucks NFC Championship game. Maybe we'll get a Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl. Maybe we'll get a Rams-Bills Super Bowl. I'm not too sure, but I do love Justin Herbert at number 5 and Matthew Stafford at number 4. Both teams going to the playoffs. Big facts. Number 3. Number 3 is a quarterback that I truly love. It took some time for him to be able to, get that kind of continuity and chemistry. He got it with Cole Beasley, but he needed a guy that is recognized as normally a top 10 receiver, another sleeper guy. Keenan Allen gets slept on. Allen Robinson gets slept on. And so does this guy in the top 10. Stephon Diggs. We're talking about my boy, Josh Allen at number 3. 4,544 yards, 37 TDs, and 10 picks. He can take his game to the next level. I know Stephon Diggs will be in consideration as the number 1 wide receiver taken. All right, number 1 wide receiver taken going into fantasy football drafts. Yeah, there's going to be Tyreek the Freak Hill, but if you look at targets, opportunities, touchdowns, yards, Stephon Diggs should be right towards the top, just based on if you watched last season and the opportunities that Josh Allen is going to throw. Josh Allen could hit 5,000 yards. He could definitely hit 40 TDs, under 15 picks. I think Josh Allen has a great chance to take the Bills to the AFC Championship game. Browns, Chiefs are right there with them. You got Chiefs, Browns, Bills at the top, and you got the Bucks at this point, Rams and Packers, depending on what happens with Aaron Rodgers at the top in the NFC. But Josh Allen, the only problem with the Buffalo Bills, it's not Sean McDermott. It's not Josh Allen. It's not Stephon Diggs. It's not the defense. It's a running game. So if you don't end up getting a running game, FN 2187, NWSF for life, my God, Jurassic Ninja in the building, Nemopolis in the building. I really honestly feel at this point with Josh Allen. They need better running game. So once you end up getting your Nick Chubb, you end up getting your Josh Jacobs, you end up getting your Jonathan Taylor, your Najee Harris, that kind of guy, that's when you might be able to compete with the Chiefs. But at this point, you might not even be able to beat the Buffalo Bills against the Cleveland Browns. The Browns got, even though Baker is kind of shaky, he started to get hot at the end of the season, right? We got Odell Beckham back, even though I don't like him that much. You got Jarvis Landry, not a big fan really there either, all right? But you got Nick Chubb, and you got Kareem Hunt. Baker got better. The defense is good. Myles Garrett. You got Jadeveon Clowney. You got Ward. You got good coaching. You beefed up the offensive line and got a better head coach, Josh Allen. Austin Eckler, very underrated. I love him. Even if they had an Austin Eckler on the Buffalo Bills, I think that could keep them a little bit more in line. The Bills right now, where their roster stands, they could beat the Browns or the Colts or the Titans or New England or the Chargers or the Dolphins. But if you want to be able to get to the fucking Super Bowl and get past Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek the Freak Hill, right? Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, make 'em stare Helaire, who? Frank Clark, Chris Jones, Chris Jones, and Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. You're going to have some type of running game, because even though the Chiefs defense might have some holes, you know what I mean? They got that dude, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and we know we got one of the best OCs in Eric Bieniemy calling plays. So until the Buffalo Bills get a star running back, that might be the day that they get past the Browns or the Chiefs or the top dogs. I still love Josh Allen. I think that he's going to keep getting better and better. But I like Justin Herbert more than Josh Allen personally as well, FN2187. I got Herbert on my list at number 5. All right. But I think that not a lot of people think the Chargers are going to probably go to playoffs this season. I do. And I think the Dolphins have a great chance as well. All right. Stafford, they're going to go to the playoffs. Josh Allen, they're going to go to the playoffs. They should be able to win that division, even though the Patriots and Dolphins should be competitive. But number 3, Josh Allen, he got Stephon Diggs. Just imagine when they get a running back, then the Bills can go to the Super Bowl and possibly win. All right, or at least get to the Super Bowl and compete with the NFC team. But that's the only drawback to me, is the running game isn't good enough to beat the Chiefs. You might be able to compete with the Browns, but at this point, I think the Browns might have a better overall roster than the Bills. So right now, I would go Chiefs, Browns, Bills. But the Browns and the Bills are almost interchangeable. They're very close. But I love Josh Allen, and it took you a couple years to be able to get that Stephon Diggs talent. He can't necessarily carry a team on his back just yet. He's getting better and better each year. If he was that raw and naturally talented, he would have did it with those garbage receivers before, right? I'm not saying that Cole Beasley's garbage. He's not. He's great. That's a good 1-2 punch, all right? But his accuracy was questionable. He had a very powerful arm, maybe the most powerful arm in football, except for Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen and Mahomes can throw for like 80 yards, throw it out of the stadium. I see that. But accuracy-wise, Mahomes is so much better. So we need to see if Allen can get that accuracy up, make some plays with his legs, right? But they need a running game. But I still love Josh Allen, and I got him at number 3. Real quick, my NFL top 5 quarterbacks going into 2021 with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash the fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. And again, these aren't the best 5 quarterbacks. They're my top 5 quarterbacks and what they're going to do in 2021. Deshaun Watson, top 5 quarterback. Is he playing? I don't fucking know. Dangerous, Russell Wilson, top 3 quarterback. Is he going to play this season? Yes, right? But I wanted to showcase some others. Aaron Rodgers, top 3 quarterback, the MVP. Is he going to play on the Packers? Is he going to be on the Broncos? All right, is he going to be on the Raiders? Is he going to be on the Dolphins? Is he going to fucking Jeopardy? I have fucking no clue, all right? But I wanted to showcase some others. Kyler Murray, you could say that he's on borderline number 5, number 6, number 7 quarterback. Lamar Jackson, number 5, number 6, number 7 quarterback. Ryan Tannehill, number 10 quarterback in my eyes, top 10. Some people outside the top 12 if you want to be a hater, but I love Tannehill. He's my favorite non-superstar quarterback in this league. These guys are not on my list, but I still got to give them love. Number 5, Justin Herbert. 4,336 yards, 31 TDs, 10 picks. He's going to improve his game. They're going to the playoffs this season. You heard it here first. Number 4, Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. They are going to possibly win the division in the NFC West and take it all the way to the NFC Championship game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At least that's what I'm hoping for. 4,084 yards, 26 TDs, and 10 picks. Now you got Cooper Kupp, You got Robert Woods, Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, and most importantly, Sean McVay, the brilliant mind at the play calling. Love him. Matthew Stafford, man, I'm so excited to watch Rams games this season. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, 4,544 yards, 37 TDs, 10 picks. He should be able to get over 40 touchdowns this season. Running game isn't very good, but they're still top notch. Number 2, I could be biased, but I'm not going to be. And whether or not you love him or you hate him, I got to put number 2 on the list. And number 2 on the list isn't the top 2 quarterback in the league, but based off intensity, leadership, expectations, and what's going to happen, it's my boy, Tom Brady. And I know you don't like him. He might be 42, 43 years old. I don't blame you. When he was on New England, I wasn't really a big fan of Belichick, Brady, and Josh McDaniels. But when he came over to Tampa Bay and changed the culture in a COVID year, in a pandemic year, 4,633 yards. Let me say that again. 4,633 yards, 40 touchdowns, 12 picks. All right, for a guy that gets hated on. That's pretty amazing, especially at that age. That's more than Josh Allen. That's more than Stafford. That's more than Herbert. And he was number 2, tied for number 2 in touchdowns last season. And they're going to be better this year. He's going to have more yards, more touchdowns, possibly less picks in a full year. I'm super excited to see what Tom Brady's going to do. I honestly think we could go for 2. I think there's a chance that we could obviously not only win the NFC South. You know, the Saints know Drew Brees. You know, the Panthers are up and coming. They got Sam Darnold. And we got, obviously, Matt Ryan and Kyle Pitts. You know, Calvin Ridley, no more Julio. So we should be able to win the division. But to win playoff games and get to the NFC Championship game again is going to be tough. Rams should be good. Niners should be good. Cardinals, Seahawks, right? The Rams as probably the number 1 contender. Packers, if Aaron Rodgers is there. Then you got the Vikings. There's a lot of other teams. And then who knows if it's Washington football team, Giants, who it's going to be in the East. But I honestly feel right now Tom Brady's stats are going to be better. I feel that as long as he's there, we're going to have a chance to at least get to the playoffs and go from there. Hopefully we can make another NFC Championship game, and I'm hoping we can get to at least one other Super Bowl, in the next 3 years. All right? I'm hoping that. But it's also based off BA. It's also based off Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich being a great play caller, and arguably we have the best defensive coordinator in the league right now in Todd Bowles. Everyone talked about my offensive line and defensive backs being horrible, the gravediggers. All right? They were ranked number 32 out of 32. And by the time December rolled around last year, we had a top 10 O-line and a top 10 secondary. So I'm really excited to see what Tom Brady can do. And even though he might not be a top 5 quarterback to many, all right, he's got top 5 impact. All right. And without Tom Brady, we're nothing. I mean, I know Kyle Trask and Traska Bay, when he gets his chance, it'll be interesting to see if he can be like an Andy Dalton early in his career with the Bengals and he can actually make a team playoff worthy. But as long as we have Brady for the next couple years, his impact is unmatched. You know what I mean? You got to think Tampa Bay returning all 22 starters and all the coaching staff, even suck up the kicker. We're literally returning everyone, which is unprecedented in this football era and age. There is a great chance in the next 3 years for Tampa to go to at least 1 or 2 more NFC Championship games and at least 1 more Super Bowl, win or lose. All right? And if we get to the Super Bowl and lose to the Chiefs, you're not going to see me crying. If they end up playing the Rams in the NFC Championship game and they lose, no problem. All right? But you got to think, since me being a fan since 1995, there's not been a lot of, good times. I had the Josh Freeman era. I had the Jeff Garcia era, Chris Sims era, horrible Jameis Winston era. You know what I mean? So I got to maximize this greatness while I have it because I know it's not going to last forever. But at this time, I got Super Bowl 37 against the Raiders, right? We got that one. And then now we got another one against the Chiefs last season in Super Bowl 55. We're 2-0. We've played teams in the AFC West in both of them. We'll have to wait and see if it happens again. I wouldn't mind seeing, Brady versus Mahomes again, and they want their revenge. But I think the impact of Tom Brady is undeniable. Brute Saint in the building, you know what I mean? Like, if you got Tom Brady on the team, you got a shot. But it's also the offensive line and picking up Tristan Wirfs. Having the depth at wide receiver. Having Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and AB. And then having also Scotty Miller, Scoot, and Tyler Johnson. And then getting the draft pick this year. And then also, having a deep deep tight end core. O.J. Howard went down, no problem. Cameron Brate and Gronk. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of teams that have that depth at wide receiver and tight end, as well as having a good O-line, Brady, and then the defense. Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea, JPP, Shaq Barrett, Devin White, Levante David. Those guys get all the love. But what about Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting and Mike Edwards, and Antoine Winfield Jr.? I mean, we got all our guys on their rookie deals. And it's showing. Sometimes you need to be able to have those young guys have that success. Number 2, Tom Brady, 4,633 yards, 40 TDs, 12 picks. It's almost crazy to think that at 42, 43 years old, that Brady's putting up top 3 numbers in the league. He was tied for second with 40 touchdowns. That's crazy at this age. But again, when you end up having, the good coaching, it really does make a lot of sense. Number 1. Obviously, you know who number 1 is. It's the number 1 quarterback in the NFL, even though they struggled against Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. We're talking about Patrick the Clone Mahomes, 4,740 yards, showtime, 38 TDs, 6 picks. So he had half the picks than Brady, 2 less touchdowns, but I think they're going to be better this season. Like I said, they lost Kyle Long. Hopefully he'll be ready as we go into the beginning of the year. But right now, on paper, Kansas City and Tampa Bay are the 2 best teams in the NFL, period, right? So Patrick the Clone Mahomes, if you want to talk shit about him, say, he ran for 500 yards, couldn't get a touchdown in the Super Bowl, he still is the guy that has the highest ceiling. He's the guy that can throw for 6,000 yards and 60 touchdowns. He's the guy that, as long as he's there with Andy Reid and Bieniemy and the squad, right, and the defense doesn't drop off completely, they're going to be the favored team every single year, just like New England was with Brady Belichick and Josh McDaniels. Every single year, the Super Bowl is going to run through Kansas City, just like it did with New England, and the AFC is going to run through that team. Because the Bucs' long-term success, it's not necessarily going to, we can't foresee that. We don't know. It's not like Brady's going to play till he's 50. Is he? Maybe he will. But as far as their youth and the coaching, there is no one geared up for more long-term success than Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce's still around. Tyreek the Freak Hill, Honey Badger. I love everyone that they got. But everyone that's a Mahomes hater, stop it. Stop it. This guy is the best quarterback in the league. Yes, you have Russell Wilson, who's great. Yes, Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. That's great. I know Russell Wilson has 1 Super Bowl, right? Went to a couple, only won 1. Is he going to win another ever again? Probably not. Aaron Rodgers only has 1. Probably should have maybe beat the Bucs last season and maybe would have had a shot for number 2. He will probably finish his career with just 1. Patrick Mahomes has 1. Definitely could have had 2, and then if they would have, been able to beat the Patriots the year before, it could have been 3 straight Super Bowl appearances, right, for Patrick the Clone Mahomes. This guy's not done, all right? He's going to end up getting a few Super Bowls. Now, we don't know how many Super Bowl wins the Chiefs are going to get. Are they going to get 2? Are they going to get 6? Is it going to be somewhere in between? We don't really know because we got to see how long Andy Reid is there, Eric Bieniemy. You're going to have to get a replacement for Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Honey Badger at some point, as well as a replacement for Travis Kelce in the next few years. But Tyreek is young. He's there. You got Mahomes. You got Andy Reid. And as far as them, as long as those guys are there, the core, they're going to be the favored team even over Buffalo or Cleveland or the Dolphins or the Chargers or the Colts or the Titans. They got that dude, Patrick the Clone Mahomes. The Super Bowl and the AFC are definitely running through the Chiefs and the Bucs, at least for this year. But long term, the Chiefs every single year is going to be the popular pick to win the AFC, right? And Veach, we trust, absolutely. And I'm no dummy. I watched the film. Besides watching my Bucs, the team that I love watching the most is the Kansas City Chiefs. Like when you watch them, it's like you're watching Magic Johnson and James Worthy and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like I'm watching some Showtime Lakers, from the 80s when I was a kid. It's like you cannot take your eyes off the TV, but I assume Mahomes is going to have a fantastic year. And again, some of these quarterbacks might not be top 5. Brady, Stafford, Herbert. Mahomes and Josh Allen, in my opinion, are at this point. Watson, Russ, Rodgers are in that consideration, and you got Kyler, Lamar, Herbert, and some of these other guys that are battling for number 5, number 6, number 7. But again, it's not the best 5 quarterbacks. It's my top 5 quarterbacks, and I think Herbert and the Chargers, playoffs. Stafford and the Rams, playoffs. Allen and the Bills, playoffs. Brady, deep run, playoffs. And Mahomes, deep run, playoffs. And we might get a Chiefs-Bucks Super Bowl rematch, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. Trevor Lawrence expectations. I would assume He's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year if it's not Najee Harris. It's going to be between those two guys, in my opinion. I think his stats will be good. They're going to lose a lot of games. They're probably going to win somewhere between 4 and 7 games in his first year. But once they keep building that roster up, they're going to get better and better. Zach Wilson has maybe more raw talent in his arm, but you're on the Jets. So you're playing the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Bills. So you're kind of fucked there unless the Jets can really start compounding more talent, drafting well, and getting free agents to believe in Robert Saleh, right? Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Trey Area, it's going to be interesting. You know, Trey Lance has got the best squad. So they can go to the playoffs year one. He doesn't have to be better than Zach Wilson or Trevor Lawrence. He just has to not turn over the football, right? Mac Jones, he might be a little ways away before he gets in the game. He might not play a whole lot this season for the Patriots. It's going to be Cam Newton until he gets COVID again or he gets hurt. That's the reality. Cam or Mac and cheese as he calls him. I'm not really sold on either one personally. They might have to get that next guy. Mariota might be a better fit than those two personally, but I'm not sure if they're going to go down that route, or maybe even a Jimmy Garoppolo, if they go down that route in the future. And as far as Justin Fields, he probably is the most NFL ready based on what we saw at The Ohio State University. But if the offensive line is trash, depending on what we get from Montgomery and Tariq Cohen and the defense led by Khalil Mack, they haven't been the same since Vic Fangio left D coordinator to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos. So I know the Bears got some D, but if they want to be able to compete, they need Aaron Rodgers to leave fucking Green Bay and they can compete with Minnesota for the top dog in the NFC North. That's my personal opinion. So Justin Fields could be like a Trey Lance. I think that those guys, Mac Jones is the most sus. Absolutely. But they got a good situation just like Trey Lance. You're playing around a lot of great players. You got Jonnu Smith, new addition. Hunter Henry, new addition. Hunter Henry, Chargers. Jonnu Smith, Titans. Nelson Aguilar, Raiders, right? So you have Sony Michel and White. You got some running backs. Defensive guys are coming back from the COVID. So I'm not sold on Mac Jones, right, or Cam Newton. Justin Fields, I could see him having some pretty good success this year once he gets in over Andy Dalton, which he should. Week 1 is against the Rams. So even though I would like to have Justin Fields get in immediately, you don't want him to get sack lunch. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? It's time for a Justin Fields sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And Aaron Donald's eaten over and over again. So you're going to at least bench him for week 1. But within the first 5 weeks, don't be surprised if Justin Fields gets in and plays well. I like him. Him and Allen Robinson should be able to have a nice 1-2 combo, just like Trevor Lawrence and DJ Shark and Tebow and Laviska Shenault Jr. and all the other guys they got, as well as like ETN. Rookies playing together, which I like. Trevor Lawrence and ETN, balling out. But Trevor Lawrence should ball out. Najee Harris, those are probably going to be the top 2 guys because Lawrence is going to start week 1. Lots of opportunities. So a lot of mistakes, but he'll show out too, right? Him and Shark and the weapons will be great. Najee Harris, that offensive line is bootios, all right? But I do feel that he's going to get so many opportunities, he could end up getting 10 to 15 touchdowns a season, and it's going to either be Trevor Lawrence or Najee Harris for Offensive Rookie of the Year if I had to take 2 guys today. On the defensive side, Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys, that's probably got to be at least the number 1 guy for now until we start seeing what J.C. Horn does. But normally they're not going to give it to a corner unless he ends up having like 8 interceptions his rookie year, and you're like, oh my God, J.C. Horn, he has that dog mentality. I want to see him do good for the Panthers, Patrick Surtain, but they're normally going to give it to like a D lineman, Kwity Paye, like a pass rusher, or they're going to go for a linebacker. So I'm going to probably go Micah Parsons for the Defensive Rookie of the Year from the Cowboys, Penn State alum, one of the greatest linebackers. Not as good as Devin White, but I think that he could be very, very good in this league for the Dallas Cowboys as well. So that is my top 5. Patty almost broke his own back in the Super Bowl trying to cradle the position backwards. I know, but that shows you. If you have a good D-line and your team is healthy, sometimes it's not the best team, right, that makes that deep playoff run. It's the healthiest team and the hottest team. That's the reality. Because, the Buccaneers weren't the best team from week 1 all the way to the Super Bowl, right? We got our ass kicked by the fucking Saints 38-3, slapping the math, right? Then we lost to the Chiefs, even though Tyreek went off with all those touchdowns, right? But then we found a way to recover after the bye, beat the brakes off fucking the Detroit Lions on that Saturday game by like 100, right? And then we didn't lose after that. So we started to get healthy. We had an easy schedule in December, facts. We took advantage. We got hot at the right time. The continuity and the chemistry was there, right? And Brady was playing on one leg last year. He had off-season surgery just a little while ago. So it shows you, even if you hate Tom Brady, you hate Buccaneers, you hate Orion, you hate the Patriots, you hate Bill Belichick, you hate Josh McDaniels, you hate anything Tom Brady related, that's fine. But when you go back and find out that Tom Brady was playing with one leg and he threw the second most touchdowns, right? The second most touchdowns out of anybody last season at that 42, 43 age, 40 touchdowns, 12 picks on one leg. Pretty amazing. FN2187. You say poor Carlton Davis, but did you know that he's got the most pass breakups out of any corner in the league within the last couple years? There's no one even close to him. So Carlton Davis sometimes gets burned. He's gonna, all right? PB and jelly. Sometimes you get fucking mashed up, all right? But if you go back and actually look at Carlton Davis's stats, he is one of the better corners in the league, and he's got the most pass breakups out of any cornerback since he came into the league. Look it up. So your boy knows, right? Jamel Dean, good nickel corner, right? You got, Mike Edwards on the back end, right? Safety, underrated, right? And then you got Antoine Winfield Jr. as well, right? And then Sean Murphy Bunting might have been the worst guy in the secondary, and he was the guy making all those interceptions and big plays in the playoffs. Yeah, he definitely got rocked in that game, just like Lattimore locking down Mike Evans. You know what I mean? They fight, Mike Evans' numbers might be a little low. I understand, you know what I mean? I get it. The Saints on certain positions, they win that battle. But overall, Mike Evans is a top 10 wide receiver. Sometimes people think he's top 5. Is Lattimore top 5 corner? To some people, he might be on that number 5 to 10 range, right? But he hasn't been as good as his rookie season with the 5 picks. I still like him. Right, but there's a lot to prove, and he's on a rookie contract coming up, so he's going to have to really ball out to show that, hey, I am top 10, and maybe you should consider me as a top 5 guy. I like his swag, his shit-talking. I would take him on my team on Tampa Bay in a heartbeat, even though, he likes to cause problems with the receivers, but that's what you need. You need those guys that aren't, willing to talk shit and not be afraid of the consequences. Trevor Lawrence has been NFL ready since freshman season. Corey Williams, what to do, my guy? Agreed. He's been ready, just like Arch Manning. Did you see that ball flip, right, when in practice? Dude, fucking A. Archie, Eli, and Peyton. Now you got Arch. Arch looks so good. I'm telling you, when he comes into the league, it's going to be very exciting. I'm not sure if he's going to be better than Peyton, but there's a good chance he's going to be much better than Archie, right, from the Saints back in the day, and Eli. And Eli won 2 Super Bowls. I can't wait to watch Arch Manning. He looks amazing. Let's see here. What are the thoughts on Jalen Hurts? Damon P. Aquadio. I love him. I told you that I thought he should have been the starter, right away, after all the debacle with Carson Wentz, right? Carson Wentz gets a new fresh start. Eagles fans love Carson Wentz. They say Dak Prescott sucks. Dak Prescott sucks. Now you got a Dak Prescott on your team, a Dak Prescott 2.0 in Jalen Hurts. So sometimes you got to be careful on what you say that you hate, right? Because now you got the exact quarterback as the Dallas Cowboys, that type of talent. Not as good as Dak, right? But he can use his legs, extend plays, right? But if he has a bad or average season, which the Eagles might end up getting 3rd or 4th in the division, because you got the Washington football team, best defense, Chase Young. Dak Prescott, best offense, no defense. Ryan Fitzmagic, is he the guy? I don't know, right? Dallas Cowboy defense, are they going to play good? Probably not. Then you got the Giants that probably got the most well-rounded team, but they got Danny Dimes. And then you got the Eagles, right? You got Jalen Hurts. You got Devontae Smith. I love those guys a lot. Miles Sanders should be good. No more Zach Ertz. It should be Dallas Goedert. He'll be in the running for top 5 tight end with Mark Andrews, as well as Darren Waller from the Raiders. Right now, you got to put Dallas Goedert between 5, 6, and 7. And then you got Kyle Pitts trying to get up there too. And he hasn't even played a snap yet, right? But I have questions on the offensive line if they can stay healthy. Brandon Brooks and Kelsey and all the guys that they've had over the years. Even some of the rookies, Dillard, they couldn't stay healthy. So 50 sack lunches for Carson Wentz. So there's a chance that they could finish last. But if you guys finish last or 3rd in the NFC East, right, you got 3 draft picks as long as Wentz plays 70% of the snaps. 3 first-rounders next year. So you could end up getting a Spencer Rattler. You could end up getting a Clovis. You could end up getting a Sam Howell. You could go for another quarterback, but I hope you don't. And then you just build weapons on the offensive line, another wide receiver, more defense for Fletcher Cox, and big play Slay. So I don't know what to expect from the Eagles, but at this point, they look like they might be the 3rd or 4th best team in the NFC East. But if you take 1 step backwards to go 10 steps forward and you get those 3 first-rounders, then you could really contend with Washington, Dallas, and the Giants and maybe surpass them. So if you don't end up making the playoffs this season, don't be sad. Just see the development of Hurts. And if you end up going 500 or worse and just missing the playoffs, that's not a bad thing, especially if you can get 3 first-rounders. Not a lot of guys have 3 first-rounders or the potential for 3 first-rounders. And next year's draft, Kayvon Thibodeau. Imagine getting Kayvon Thibodeau on that team for my Ducks. He'll probably be the first defensive player taken, outside of quarterback next season. He could be number 1. Corey Williams, don't sleep on JT Daniels. I see you. JJ Trilla, bruh. Dak 2.0. Don't ever disrespect my quarterback like that. That boy Hurts is a Geno Smith, Teddy Bridgewater 2.0. Hurts will have 12 TDs, 17 picks, 5 rushing TDs, and 3,069 yards. That's very specific, JJ Trilla. That's very specific. Dallas Cowboys hate, right? Dallas Cowboys hate on an Eagles player. Dak is great. Let's not get it twisted. Dak Prescott could be a guy that could be in the top 5 or top 10 list, but we need to see if he can play a full season. He could be comeback player of the year. You got Run CMC, Saquon Barkley. That's another video that I could end up doing. But I'm just saying, based off their body shape, their talent, right? He is a Dak Prescott 2.0. I mean, if you were going to compare Jalen Hurts to any other quarterback in the league, who would you compare him to? Dak, because their games are going to be kind of similar. Crafty, shifty. Dak is obviously better, right? We know this. But what does 2.0 mean? Not as good. All right, not as good as Dak Prescott, but a similar type of player. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. But like I said, that's the list right there. Number 5, Justin Herbert. Number 4, Matthew Stafford. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 2, Tom Brady. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. And these aren't the best 5, but they're my top 5 as far as going into the playoffs, making a deep run. And I still got Watson, Danger Russ, Aaron Rodgers, Kyler, Lamar Jackson, Tannehill, Dak. There's a lot of other guys that are in the top 10 consideration. And a lot of these guys are top 5. Watson, top 5 when he's healthy. Russell, top 3. Rodgers, top 3. But I wanted to be able to, give some love from some other guys on the list. Dak is already on the top 10 list, my guy. Say Teddy Bridgewater with his legs, Geno Smith with the arm. Oh, man, you're disrespectful, my guy. Disrespectful, but I love it, man. Cowboys, Eagles hate. You're going to get Washington football team and the Giants. That's the division that we don't know what's going to happen. We already know the NFC West is the best. We know the NFC South will be led by Tampa. As long as Rodgers is there, they know that the Packers got the North, right? But the East and the NFC, who knows? Is it Washington? Is it the Giants? Is it the Cowboys? Is it the Eagles? Who the fuck knows? We don't really know. Amber M, you passed your driver's test. Amber M only ran over 3 pedestrians, knocked over 5 cones, right? Scared the shit out of the tester that was with her, right? Hit a pothole, right? The first time around, all right? But you passed. No problem. So I'm actually been online. I normally don't do live streams early in the morning. Congratulations, Amber M, on getting the driver's test and the license pass. But I just wanted to do a video this morning because I got plans for later today. But I wanted to be able to, just show some love and go over my top 5 quarterbacks going into 2021. Maybe not necessarily top 5 overall. Deshaun Watson, top 5, not on the list. Russell Wilson, top 3, not on the list. Aaron Rodgers, top 3, not on the list. Kyler, somewhere between 5, 6, and 7. Lamar, 5, 6, and 7. Tannehill, somewhere between 10, 11, and 12. All right, Dak, right there between maybe 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in that list as well. But I wanted to showcase guys that I'm really excited for going into 2021. Number 5, Justin Herbert, 4,336 yards, 31 TDs, 10 picks. Look for him to go to the playoffs and improve that stat line. Number 4, Matthew Stafford, 4,084 yards. Now he's on the Rams with Sean McVay, 26 TDs, 10 picks. His numbers are going to get better. Look for them winning the NFC West and possibly making an NFC Championship game against Tampa. Number 3, Josh Allen, 4,544 yards, 37 TDs, 10 picks. Those will get better, but I do have concerns at the running back position. If you want to beat Cleveland or the Chiefs, you need some kind of running game. Number 2, Tom Brady, 4,633 yards, 40 TDs, 12 picks, playing on one leg, right? He was second in the league, tied with 40 touchdowns in the league, which is crazy. And I think he's going to be better this season. And number 1, Patrick the Clone Mahomes, Showtime, 4,740 yards, 38 TDs, 6 picks. And guess what? If anyone can throw for 60 touchdowns and 6,000 yards. It's Patrick the Clone Mahomes. Right now on paper, you got the Chiefs, you got the Browns, you got the Bills. Those are my top three. And then you got the Bucks, you got the Rams, and you got the Packers, as long as Aaron Rodgers is still there. But we have a lot to go through after that. I hope everyone had a fantastic morning. I got to end the stream. I'll be back maybe later tonight or tomorrow or Monday, but I wanted to get this stream in last night, but I had to take care of some me time and sleep and watch some film, relax, read some articles. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. You guys are the best fans on planet Earth. My NFL top 5 quarterbacks going into 2021. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash the fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy on Cash App or on here. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. NWSF Chain Gang. We got the Vikings and the Saints on NFL Network. So if you're looking for something to watch, do that. Bye, Orion. Have a good day. Amber, FN2187. Everyone, JJ Trill, I appreciate every single one of y'all in the building. Have a great Saturday. And I will be back very, very soon. Peace. NWSF for life, brother.